healthcare, housing, all of that, helping them to spiral them upwards. There has to be a focus on finding a good approach to solving the incapacitation of the poor women in the rural and disadvantaged areas of Africa to move them out of poverty. For this to materialize, the woman must develop the capacity to generate and maintain means of livelihood and produce excesses that will eventually lead to savings. The African Women in Leadership Organization makes this a focus for its activities and for its projects as well, and these are all areas that will also be discussed at the conference. The conference will have at its core all facets of well-being for the African woman, and for the first time introduces sessions that address her spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Other sessions will explore the woman in the African context, where the challenge can be two-pronged: cultural environment and conditioning of the African child, superimposed on characteristics and expectations of being a strong African leader. The African Women in Leadership Conference is the flagship annual event organized by the African Women in Leadership Organization. Mr. Elisha Atai, the CEO and founder, stated that the choice of the Gambia is born out of the fact that the Gambia has unique qualities over many other destinations in Africa. And high among them is the government's active inclusion of women in key leadership and decision-making processes and positions. The Gambia boasts a cabinet composition of 38% women, and this is unique in most of Africa. Tourists are constantly in search of sun, sand, and cultural experiences, of which this country, the Gambia, has plenty to offer.
The Gambia, as you have already said, is very peaceful, is very stable, and I dare say that it's the beacon of hope and peace for Africa. And all this is as a result of the wisdom and the visionary leadership of His Excellency the President, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yaya Ejeje Jammeh, who has created the conducive environment for all Gambians, especially women. He has said it loud and clear for everybody to hear, that women of the Gambia are to be trusted. Yes. We are the implementers of his developmental agenda. We are his staunch and loyal supporters, and as such, he said that is why he is appointing women to positions of trust and responsibility, and also to very, very sensitive positions. Of course, again, Her Excellency, the Vice President, who doubles as the Minister of Women's Affairs, is a role model globally in the whole world. She is highly respected by all. And so she exhibits the leadership, exemplary leadership qualities for us to emulate. He's a role model and also follows in the steps of His Excellency to ensure that women are given the space that they need to participate in nation building. So I believe that it was not by accident, but by design, that you have chosen Gambia for this conference. If I go down history lane to 2009, when we hosted the Beijing Plus 15 review meeting, Her Excellency chose the theme from commitment to action. Because, as you will agree with me, we have been talking for a very long time. And she felt that at the time, we've spoken enough and it was time for action. And of course, impact will follow action. You can only make impact if you take action. Without action, no impact can be made. And here we emphasize positive impact. As you have rightly said, Gambian women, like their sisters in other parts of the region and the world, have a vast experience. And we will be very selfless, and we are honored to receive our sisters, and of course I hope other brothers
Yes.
to this conference, and apart from the intellectual exchange and the interface that this conference will make possible, we will also showcase the rich culture and tradition of the Gambia.
I want to, of course, recognize you and thank you on behalf of His Excellency the President, and on behalf of Her Excellency the First Lady, by the way, is also the patroness of Gambian women. So on behalf of the government, the entire Gambian people, particularly the women of the Gambia, and would I say future women as well, the girls, I want to take this opportunity to thank the organizers first and foremost for choosing the Gambia. Gambia is a small country, but because maybe we are the peace haven, because of the achievements that have been made in the area of women in development, and because of the fact that this particular program is rotational as well. So you decided to hold it this time around in the Gambia. And I want to take this opportunity therefore to thank the organizers, AULO, for this honor that has been given to the Gambia. Really, we are very grateful and we are honored. And whatever we can do in our own part to ensure that there's attendance at our own level, because usually I think there's a local participation.
Sure.
So let's make sure that we are not found wanting in that regard. I'm sure you also had the opportunity to see the facilities that we have available in both boarding, facilities, as well as where the conference is going to be held. And I hope you are satisfied with the venue and the facilities. And whatever we can do in terms of support at our level, whether it's reception at the airport, whether it's assistance at the hotel venue itself, until such time that our guests leave us, we will do. I don't know the details of the program yet, but whatever it requires. It's a conference meeting, but not like site visits or anything like that. But whatever it requires at our own level, we will do whatever we can within our capabilities, to ensure that you have a very successful meeting in the Gambia. That will be just as memorable, if not more, than the Beijing Plus 15. Beijing Plus 15 is still memorable in the minds of Africans. Wherever I go, they tell me how appreciative they were that small Gambia can do so much. Not to speak of the AU, which was even bigger, the AU summit that was held in the Gambia. I can assure you, the government is behind you, the women of the Gambia are behind you.
And with that, we now come to the end of tonight's edition of the program. Join us next week for another edition of the program. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.